Welcome and warm welcome to High Tech Institution.
Hi team, in this video we're going to discuss about the lift and shift versus re-architecting migration. Okay, first of all, welcome to our High Tech Institution YouTube channel. So let's get started. And in this part, we're just going to completely discuss about the theoretical concepts, how the organization is implementing their strategies, and how about the pricing things. These and all we're going to discuss. So far that I'm just planning to make this as a video. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so coming to the contents. So first we're going to discuss about what are lift and shifts and re-architecturing migration things. After that, the key factors to choose them. Okay, choose between them. So that is going to be the second content. And then the third content is how organization is making the decision when come to the migration scenarios. So these three things we're going to discuss. In real time, there are six R's migration strategies are there, but we're just going to discuss only with this lift and shift and also with this re-architecture. Okay, so yeah, so fine. First we'll discuss about the lift and shift and re-architecture. What are those? Let's get understand. See, lift and shift refers to migration existing application or data from on-premises to cloud without modifying their code, architecture and functionality. Literally, the application is present on the on-premises place, so we just taking the exact application or exact data from there, and then we placing it into cloud. It can be any cloud like AWS or Alibaba or Azure or GCP. It can be in any cloud. Okay, so here the thing is, core feature is preserving the original setup. Okay, so no adjustment. In the software level we won't apply any changes, features level we won't apply any changes, or underlying the structure during migration. No, exact on-premises infrastructure, we're just going to migrate it. That is what lift and shift. Okay, so this is a simple example to get understand. See, so in this example, the client is transferring the old customer relationship management system, which means CRM, the customer relationship management tool. Okay, so from the local servers to cloud platforms like Azure, AWS, like that. Okay, so here in the scenario, if you look into the CRM system that is hosted in a local server, so in the scenario they are not creating any they are not going with any platform as a service or something. They are exactly creating the same mission inside the cloud, and they just keeping this application inside. Okay, so how you can remember this concept? See, think of it as taking your desk from your home. Okay, so think of it like taking your desk from your home to office. Same desk, you can put the same or different items in top of that. Okay, same product, but you just switches to the different location, like you can understand it. That is what lift and shift basically. And coming to the re-architecture, so okay, re-architecture in the sense literally redesigning an application whole structure. Okay, which is to leverage the cloud native advantages, often involving the code or the structural changes. Okay, so the purpose, the core, it's to unlock the cloud benefits like scalability. Okay, then we couldn't do the lift and scalability in lift and shift. Like if you're thinking, obviously, lift and shift is literally for faster deployment. Okay, when you wanted to do the faster deployment, you can go with this lift and shift. Post lift and shift, you can do the scalings, like that can be in the vertical scaling aspect or horizontal scaling aspect, you can do it. But here in this re-architecturing itself, we are doing the scalability. Okay, so faster updates and then cost efficient by aligning the app with the cloud environments. Okay, and here some differences are there in the scalabilities and faster updates. I'll tell you those things. Okay, so real world case. So here what is this re-architecture basically? This is the exact example, simple example to get understand. See, one monolithic applications are there. Generally, monolithic application in the sense what the complete applications component like front end code, back end logics, everything people will be keeping it in the same server, and the customers will be accessing that application. That is what monolithic. Okay, so coming to microservice in the sense, each and each and every applications activity people will be creating as a microservices, which means small applications, and then they will be connecting with the, and then integrated with the API, and they delivering that service to their customer. Okay, so what is the scenario is they have a e-commerce application that is currently in a monolithic structure, and they dividing that into an independent microservices. Like in that application, they have a payment service, inventory service, user management service. So all these things they split it into one small microservices just for the better flexibility. Okay, so how you can remember this? Simply imagine turning a single large cake into smaller, okay, customizable cupcakes. Each cupcakes you can consider it like microservices can be modified or replaced without affecting others. Okay, so this is the simple example to get understand the ideology of this re-architecturing. Okay, so yeah, so coming to the key factors to choose between these two. Okay, so coming to the cost aspect, so this is the upfront cost differences I just listed in this site. So you could see what is the upfront cost you will be getting in this lift and shift, and the re-architecture pricing also I just mentioned here. So this is the average amount I just mentioned it, approximate value I just mentioned it. This is not a no accurate exact value. Why? Because the pricing and all would vary from to scenario and infrastructure to infrastructure. So this is the average value I just mentioned here, pricing difference I just mentioned here, and ongoing pricing. Okay, so this is the upfront cost, and this is the ongoing expenses, long-term burden. Okay, so short-term savings versus long-term value. So that I mentioned here. See, lift and shift incurs high annual cost. Okay, so 30K per year for maintenance and upgrades due to the legacy systems inefficiencies. Okay, but coming to re-architecture reduces to 10K per year because with optimized modern infrastructures. Obviously, if we are going with the lift and shift, we just doing the legacy system migrations. There we won't have a much features, so nothing to implement more. So obviously, and also some organizational infrastructure might not support. So some things and all there. So for that, this price they telling. Okay, and coming to the next one. So total cost overall over 5 years, the clearing trade-off. Here the example value I just mentioned here. You can check this out. Okay, so what is the thing we will be getting in the lift and shift total, and what is the thing we will be getting it in the re-architecture total, and so what we actually saves by year 6. So that I mentioned here. And coming to the speed and scalability, which is literally like I said, right? I just previously said, right? Lift and shift. It's really recommended when you are going to do the urgent needs. Urgent need in the sense like you just wanted to implement the migration immediately, like 2-3 months. You just wanted to implement it. You don't wanted to do any R&D. You don't wanted to change anything inside the same exact legacy infrastructure. You just wanted to replicate. In these kind of scenarios, we will be going in this way. See that I mentioned here. Okay, like launching temporary campaigns or meeting regulatory deadlines. That I mentioned here. And scalability. I said right. Scalability. It's literally like we completely looking for the leverages, and then we need to improve the performance and 10x user growth or new feature with major overhauls, critical scenarios and all. The application should tackle like more user traffic if appears. It should tackle, and microservices level high availability, DNS level high availability. Like if we are doing lot of activity, a lot of interesting and how we can say, lot of important thing which are required to grow our business. So that took more time, and that is what re-architecture for long-term growth. Okay, lift and shift is okay for short-term deployment, but when you wanted to keep grow your business for long-term in the application aspects high availability, then you must work on the re-architecturing your end-to-end applications. Yeah, so this is the real example I just mentioned here. Their startup uses lift and shift to launch their MVP in 8 weeks. The retail chain chooses re-architecture to handle 300% more online traffic during the sales events, avoiding the crashes. Generally, in the scenario, startup couldn't invest more amount on those things, so that they just choose the lift and shift. But in the second scenario, the MNC, the big company is doing the re-architecturing scenario to improve their sales events and things, avoiding the crashes and all. They are just skipping in by implementing this re-architecturing. And how the organization making the decision, yeah, that is what we just discussed in the previous things. This is the overview kind of things we can say. So first thing is totally five simple steps. Okay, five simple steps they will be following here. Auditing your current systems, like what is the current performance and what is your cost, scalability, compatibility with the new environments. These and all first they will be getting it. After that, they will be clearly setting a goal like to reduce the IT cost by 20 percentage or to 30 percentage, and improve how we can improve the flexibility in future growth. Like they will be setting the clear goals actually. After that, after deciding these two, they will be going with the comparison. Okay, this is the third thing they will be consider. Compare both options against the goals, which means matches lift and shift, fast, low risk, but re-architecture long-term efficiency, which is suits for our use cases, which is suits for our organization. Like the organization will decide it. And coming to the fourth one, just a small part first. Okay, pilot with a low risk component. Pilot in the sense, generally the organization, if they are doing the migration, they won't implement the complete migration initially. Okay, first they will be picking a sample data or small amount of data, and they will do the deployment, and that itself they will be testing it, and that will be fixing everything. After that only the stage by stage migration people will be implementing. So this pilot is literally a sample data. Okay, so sample data, they are testing it. Okay, so that is what I just mentioned here as a fourth point. And coming to the fifth point, yeah, the same thing. Okay, use pilot data and goal alignment to choose. If lift and shift meets, short term needs, proceed. And if re-architecture better serves long term goals, plan the full transition. Yeah, the same thing that we have discussed in the previous slides. The same things, they will be deciding it. So these are the 5 steps simply they will be following for making the organizational migration decisions. Okay, so still we have 4 more migration strategies, but I just made I just made this video just for these 2 migration strategies. Yeah, I hope this video will help you well. In the future, if you just wanted to make any video related about migrations or any interesting topic which is on AWS or Azure, just ping in the comment section. I'll try to make a video for that. Then yeah, thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you all for watching.